Hey, what's up, you guys? Peter Valley here. So I just posted this article a minute ago. It is a complete pricing guide to every automated Amazon repricing tool out there. And what I'm not going to do in this video is just read you the article because that would be super boring and you would throw tomatoes at the screen. What I am going to do is give you the 5 lessons I learned researching this article, which was painstaking, by the way. This took me like multiple days. This article had not been written. The reason I wrote this article was and made this pricing table was because I went to research one, find one for myself so I could compare prices of different repricing tools out there. And it turns out no one had done this before. No one had just created a pricing guide specifically for Amazon repricing tools. So you can't compare the prices if this doesn't exist, and it didn't exist, so I had to make it. So I'm going to give you the 5 lessons I learned researching this article, and some of them I think are pretty interesting. So the first lesson I learned that I had no idea about, literally at all, could not believe this. When I went to research how many automated repricing tools were out there for Amazon sellers, guess how many? Guess how many? 35, you guys. 35 repricing tools out there. Far and away, that is the most saturated corner of the Amazon software space. If you think about all the tools that are out there, everything from like online arbitrage tools to like tools that help you get reimbursements to inventory management tools to feedback generating to all the tools that are out there, none of them have 35 competitors. That's bonkers. And here's just a handful right here. So yeah, I was totally shocked there's 35 repricing tools, and I'm sure that I missed some, by the way. Second thing I learned researching this article is that the majority of, in fact, every article I found out there that claims to be like a complete guide to Amazon repricing tools doesn't even come close to listing, not even half of them. I didn't even find one that listed even half of them. So these articles, in fact, I'll show you one right now. Here's one, the complete list to the best Amazon repricers. Guess how many are on here? There's like 8. Okay. And so this actually wasn't really, what wasn't a surprise to me is that a lot of bloggers will claim to be creating like a guide to Amazon repricers, and what they're really doing is only publishing the ones that have affiliate links. And if you guys don't know what an affiliate program is, it's basically where anyone who clicks through an affiliate link, the blogger who posted that link gets a cut of the sale. So really what most of these articles are doing is they're really just saying, hey, we actually, these are the ones that are paying us to advertise for them. Not quite the same as being a complete list, right, that they claim. So be very careful. As far as I know, this is the biggest, what I've just posted is the biggest and most complete list out there. And I still think, even at 35, I still think I missed some. Okay, so just be very suspicious of articles that claim to publish all of them. Okay, so the number 3 thing that I learned that I thought was the most interesting of all is, you guys, I looked at this websites for all 35 repricers. And something really fascinating stood out. I started to notice patterns. They all boast one of 4 features. In other words, there's one of 4 things they all claim set them apart from the other 34 repricers out there. And it's this list I'm showing you right here. The first one is being cheap or cheaper or cheapest, which I'm fine with, right? That's a completely objective calculation. So that one's fine. That one's legit. The second one is almost all of them, I would say like of the 35, like 25 to 28 of them, somewhere in that range, 25 to 30 of them, claim they will win you the buy box more than any other repricer. They can't all be right. So what does this mean? Well, I'm going to get back to this in a second, but that's an extremely dubious claim. Number 3, you see this a lot too, particularly with the higher end repricers. They all boast they have some kind of proprietary artificial intelligence, or another term they use is machine learning, to get you better prices and therefore higher revenue. Very, very suspicious claim. I'll get back to that in a second as well. And number 4 is repricing speed. A lot of them claim they will price your inventory faster than other tools. Okay, so again, they can't all be right. So what's going on here? Do we have a right to be suspicious? The answer is yes. So let me go through the last 3 one by one, because this is something I feel really, this is probably the most important part of this video, because this will save you a lot of money if you're referring to this article or this video on how to like choose a repricer. Okay, so winning the buy box. This is why this claim is a scam basically all the time. Since they all claim to win you the buy box, or most of them claim to win you the buy box more than any other repricer, it's scandalous because the factors that contribute to an Amazon seller winning the buy box, almost all of them have nothing to do with repricing. Nothing. Which makes this claim inherently a scam. Now, the one thing that does, which is probably the most important thing to be fair, is whether or not you're in, not necessarily the lowest price, but like in range of the lowest price. Of course, that's a factor, but guess what? That is the bare minimum function of a repricer. Every repricer on earth, if it has a pulse, can match the lowest price. So in other words, there's nothing to brag about here. Basically, winning the buy box is essentially the participation trophy for Amazon repricing tools. All it says is, hey, we are able to match the lowest price for your offer, which again is the bare minimum thing a repricer should do. So what I learned from this is, now since you have 25 or 30 repricers all claiming they win the buy box the most, what I learned is this is what you say as a repricer if you have no actual unique features to brag about. That's what makes it so scandalous. So my opinion, anytime you see a repricer claiming they will win you the buy box the most, run, because it means they have nothing to actually brag about. This is what you fall back on when you have nothing to actually say. You just claim you can do something that's the bare minimum of what you should be doing. Okay. Second thing that's a very dubious claim is a repricer that claims to have artificial intelligence or machine learning. Now, it's not to say that artificial intelligence and machine learning cannot have a role in repricing. Absolutely. But what bothers me about this claim is that, and I'm going to make a separate video about this because it's too big of a subject, but I contacted most, not all, but most of the repricers that claim to offer artificial intelligence or machine learning, and I asked them to specifically explain to me in layperson terms what exactly they are offering that will translate to more sales for my Amazon business. I posed to the customer, I just want to know just the most obvious question, right? The bare minimum question you should ask if someone's claiming, trying to charge you a lot of extra money for something that they don't fully explain, is just, hey, just go ahead and explain it to me in layperson terms. I did not get a single answer back that was even remotely satisfying. So when these tools can't even explain what it is they're charging you for, just on principle, you shouldn't. I personally won't support them. On principle, like, you're not going to take my money unless you're telling me what that money is going towards. And if all you get back to me with is a bunch of jargon that's just supposed to, that just confuses the issue, I can't trust you with my money, right? Because I feel like you're not being honest. So that's why I'm suspicious of this claim. The last one's really simple to debunk. No repricer should claim to reprice anything the fastest simply because Amazon limits how often third-party repricing tools can reprice. It has nothing to do with the quality of your software. It has nothing to do with how skilled your developers are or anything like that. Amazon sets limits. And so you can't be bragging about repricing speed when it has nothing to do with your tool. Amazon sets the speed. So very, very suspicious. But all three of these I consider to be very dubious claims. And basically they're just hollow marketing. Okay, I spent a lot of time on that. I'm going to do a separate video about that. But let's get to the next subject. Next thing I learned researching this article was that many of these repricing tools, and this is number 4, many of them are out of business. And I shouldn't say many. I think there were 6 that I contacted that literally did not respond. And so I can only take that to mean that they're out of business. What I thought was really interesting is that it's potentially true that some of these tools are on autopilot. In other words, they're still functioning tools. They just have no customer support whatsoever. They're completely on autopilot, which, of course, I wouldn't want to trust my money to a tool that had literally no customer support. But it's really hard to know what to make of this. Like if you email a tool, and by the way, I did check my spam folder, so I'm trying to be fair about this. I'm pretty confident that 6 or 7 repricing tools just literally did not respond to me at all. And it's been 3 weeks since I did this, so they've had time. So what do we make of this? Are they out of business? Like, what do we make of this? I don't know. And some of these you can see I actually mentioned in this article, like, hey, they didn't get back to me. I don't know if they're still operational. A couple of them, if I had additional evidence they were out of business, I just didn't include them in this article at all. So yeah, interesting, right? Some repricers could just literally be on autopilot, like they're like phantoms, like they're ghosts. They don't actually have any humans behind the scenes. Pretty weird, right? Okay, last one. The price range. Number 5 thing I learned researching this article was the price range of repricing tools. Now, I don't want to go into the whole schematics here because there's, you can see I have different columns for different inventory levels and what they cost. Let's just focus on if you're a very small seller, you have under 1,000 items in your inventory, you can expect to pay between $10 and $50 a month. And actually, that's pretty much true if you have under 5,000 units in your inventory. The price works out to be pretty much the same. again, and I think the benefits become pretty marginal once you start paying more than $50 a month. In other words, the benefits become esoteric or just not entirely clear. You can see, some of these $600 a month, and some of them are a lot more. There's a whole. I have two different pricing tables here. One for just flat monthly fees, and then one for Amazon repricing tools that have alternative pricing structures. And a lot of them actually don't even advertise their price. These are always the really expensive ones, by the way. But anyway, the point is, if you're a very small seller or a small to smallish to mid-size, I don't know, whatever you call 5,000 or less, expect to pay $10 to $50. And again, the benefits just aren't that clear above that. So that's it, you guys. That's the 5 things I learned to research this. Hopefully this helps you in your research for an Amazon repricing tool. Thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and check out the article. I posted a link right below this video. Peter Valley signing off. Take care and stay tuned for a whole series of videos and articles about repricing. Thanks.